everybody, it's Kelsee Brianna J. Today I want to talk to you guys about the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Powder Foundation. Here's what the packaging looks like. Standard Fenty packaging. This powder retails for $36. It has 9.1 grams of products or 0.32 ounces of products. The compact of it I think is really cute. It's very on brand for Fenty. So when you open up the powder, you have the FB embossed in it, and I think that's another cute touch. The details of this powder say that it is a light as wear powder foundation that gives you light to full coverage with a soft matte finish. It says this powder delivers a non-cakey blurred finish with no flashback. The buildable light to full coverage formula loves to be layered without settling into fine lines or clogging the look of pores. It's also sweat, humidity, and crease resistant, plus it has a chic portable compact. And this particular formula comes in 50 shades, just like her original Pro Filt'r foundation line did. So I'm really excited about it. I got my regular shade, which is the shade 310. 310 is described as a shade for medium to tan skin with warm yellow undertones. So let's go ahead and jump into the demonstration. Let me know if you all picked up this powder down below. Of course, we're going to do a wear test, and at the end of the video, I'll stop back by, let you guys know my final thoughts on everything. But in the meantime, if you have tried it, let me know your final thoughts down in the comment section, because I would love to know what you all think. So I hope that you all enjoy this video, and I will chat with you all down in the comment section. Mwah. So let's go ahead and put on this powder foundation. I've already prepped my skin using the Fenty skincare. So I used the cleanser, the fat water, as well as the moisturizer. And I really worked that in and made sure that it was fully absorbed. So I feel like my skin is ready to apply this powder foundation. Now, because this is a powder foundation, I'm going to use this by itself. So I'm not going to put it on top of any other products, even though you could. So I pulled out 3 different brushes that you could use. All 3 of them are going to give you a different finish. So the first brush is the Chikuhodo Beautylish brush from this year. And if you use a brush like this one, it's going to apply the powder in a lighter manner, and it's going to allow you to dust it on. Same with the Sonia G Buffer brush. Now this is a kabuki brush, so it's going to apply it a little bit more concentrated, but since this brush is a little bit fluffier, it will still blend it out and you won't get as heavy of an application as you would with this brush. This one is the Sonia G Master Face Brush. So this brush is going to give me the most in terms of the application, so it's going to give me that full coverage, but because it's a soft brush, it's going to allow me to diffuse it and apply this product beautifully. And since I'm intending on using this as my foundation today, I'm going to use the Sonia G Master Face Brush. So I'm just going to dip right in here, and I'm going to pick up a bit of that powder, and I'm going to press it on. And it makes a difference in the application, whether you press or if you swipe. If you swipe, you're automatically going to get a lighter foundation application with powder foundations versus if you press, which really allows you to build that powder and you get a little bit more coverage, especially in areas where you feel like you need it. So I'm just going to start here down on my cheeks, on the lower portion of my face, and just really build up this powder because I'm looking for coverage. Right now, my skin has a bit of breakout. Like, I've been wearing my mask a little bit more. I've been going outside just a little bit more. And, you know, maskne is real. So I need to cover that up. And so far, I'm getting a decent amount of coverage. I've gone in, you know, back and forth in the powder pretty much like 4 times now. Just picking up a little bit as I go. And that's not abnormal. Don't think that you're ODing. You know, with powder foundation, it's all about just taking your time and building it up using these pressing motions. It does come with the sponge. You can use that for touch-ups if you want to, but I would advise you to switch it out regularly because sponges harbor bacteria, and we're not trying to cause our skin to break out, okay? So I advise you to kind of focus on brushes versus sponges, especially those sponges that are not meant to just be used for the entirety of the time you have the powder, you know? I'm seeing a little bit of coverage. Okay, I definitely see the soft matteness, and I did not put on any makeup underneath this, okay, because I just wanted to test this out by itself. So far, so good. As you all can see, it's giving me a little bit of a tannish shade. You can really see the difference between my forehead and down here, because I would say this shade is just a little bit darker, I would say. So let me go on my forehead and even it out. I'm going to take a little bit of this and put it underneath my eyes too. because I'm not even putting on concealer. I could have purchased a lighter shade for underneath my eyes, but I'm like, child, let me just improvise. Under my eyes, I'm going to do a gentle sweeping just because I don't want to look too monotone. So I do want to leave a little bit of my natural darkness peeking through. I have on the powder foundation by itself. I haven't put on any of my other makeup. So I don't have on my bronzer, highlight, blush, any of that stuff, because I want you all to see what this looks like by itself. And by itself, I feel like it's giving me a nice amount of coverage. I still see a little bit of my imperfections peeking through, mainly some of the hyperpigmentation that I have on my face. But I'm sure that if I go on and on and on and build it up, it would get there. But I feel like I've built it up to a good amount, and this is pretty much what it's going to look like without me using an excess of the powder. So I would still say that this is a full coverage powder. However, it's not super full coverage to the point where it's going to cover up every single thing. And I just want to make sure that you all are aware of that if you're looking for a full coverage powder that's just going to cover up a tattoo or something like that. This is not on that level, but it does give me a good amount of coverage. I think that my skin looks even. It does look a bit drier, but that's to be expected with a lot of powder foundations. And as the day goes on, your oils will break through, and then the powder will look a little bit more skin-like. Or what you could do is spray your face with a setting spray, and that setting spray will really help you speed up that process. It'll help the makeup melt in a little bit more so it doesn't look as dry. However, since I'm doing a test, I don't want to spray it all over, but what I will do is I will spray it on one side of the face. That way you all can see the difference of how it's going to look and how it's going to wear in comparison to the other side, which I won't spray. So give me a second. So you all see what it looks like. So on the right side, I'm going to go ahead and spray some of the Fenty Beauty What It Do setting spray. Without a setting spray, the powder will eventually begin to look like the right side, you know, with just wear and tear, your oils breaking through, natural perspiring and all that good stuff. But if you want it to look like that sooner and not wait, I would advise to use the setting spray. It gave me a more skin-like finish, and it kind of looks more so like I have a liquid or cream product on as opposed to a powder. And I think 310 is the closest shade match that I have. It's just a little bit off, as you all saw, but I know if I went a full shade up, then it would be too light, and there's not a middle shade in there. And if it were, I think that would be my closest match. But since it's not, I get 310 and it works well enough. Here's the liquid foundation in 310. It's a little bit more yellow than the powder is. I think the powder is a little bit more neutral than my liquid foundations are from Fenty. I think this matches me better as far as an undertone goes. So let me go ahead and finish off the rest of my makeup and I'll be right back. So I have my makeup completed, and here's what we're looking like now. I'm very interested to see what it will look like in 2 hours and as I'm wearing it throughout the day. I would say that the rest of my makeup went on a little bit more skippy than it normally does. And that is not out of the ordinary when you're working with powder products. Sometimes when you have a powder foundation that's just a little bit drier, when you apply the rest of your makeup on top, it goes on drier as well. And it doesn't give you a seamless blend like it would if you had that velvety finish, or if you had something to kind of grip onto. We're going to do a full day wear test, so I'll check you guys back in a few. So I'm back, and it has been 2 hours. I have my Wednesday Addams braids going on. I still am relatively matte. I don't see a whole lot of my oils breaking through. I think that the powder foundation still is wearing well. I don't see where it has any visible signs of fading. So that's it. I'm going to check you guys and let you all see the updates. So sit tight. I am trying bone broth. It's not too bad. I'll be back. I'm back. It has been longer than 8 hours. It's been closer to like 10, but I am ready to share my final thoughts with you on this powder foundation. Now, as you all can see, I think that my skin is looking pretty good. I have combination skin, and overall, I would say that this powder foundation wore pretty well. I think it gave me a nice amount of coverage. I didn't notice where it faded anywhere. It did oxidize, but overall, I like the way that it looks. To remedy that oxidation, I would go up a shade lighter. I probably will grab the shade 300 just for experimentational purposes. Is that a word? Experimentational? experimental. Really? That was so extra. Okay. Overall, I like the powder, but I do have a few notes that I want to talk to you guys about. And the first one being is that I do think that it's dry. So if you have dry skin, you really have to be cognizant of how you prep your skin before using this powder. Dare I say, it may be a little bit too dry if you just have naturally dry skin. And if you do and you like a powder foundation, I would say get one that's a little bit more velvety, like Lancome's Dual Finish Powder, Chanel's powder foundation, Dior's powder foundation, or even Shiseido's. I think they have a little bit more of a moisturizing feel to them, even though they're a powder. Now, if you're like me, you have combination skin or oily skin, I do like the way that it wears, but keep in mind, as your oils start to break through, this is going to get a bit darker. I'm not saying go out and buy 2 shades lighter and look like Casper, but I am saying that you need to be aware of that so you don't walk outside looking like you have a sunburn. Like you guys saw me do, you can absolutely wear this by itself, and you can use this as a setting powder if you like. You can wear it on top of your cream or your liquid products, or even if you want to just put a little concealer on and put this on top, this can absolutely work that way. But just be aware again that it may get a little bit darker if you're putting it on top of something else. But I would say go in with a light hand. So go in with a bit of a fluffier brush, like one of the ones that I showed a little bit earlier in this video, because it's going to give you a lighter application, and that is important so you don't look cake faced. Overall, I would say that Fenty Beauty did a really good job with this. And we all know that Fenty Beauty is a trendsetter in the beauty industry. So hopefully we see powder foundations make a comeback, because the pickings are slim out there. And so for Fenty Beauty to kind of bring it on back, I'm excited to see it. So let me know your thoughts on it down in the comment section. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you liked it. And I will check you all in my very next video, which will be super soon. Smooches. Bye.